or being trapped in a repetitive environment, 𝐴𝐷 really dislikes that the most. When he has an outburst, it's actually quite interesting because he's trying to tell you that he wants to be free. So when he explodes emotionally as parents, there's one thing we need to pay attention to: safety. Because when children have emotional outbursts, they often can't control themselves or aren't aware of the safety of their surroundings. As long as it is within a completely safe and controlled environment, you should definitely give 𝐴𝐷 some extra personal space. Okay, then on his own, he will keep exploring, or physically in terms of his stamina, he will also gradually calm down. He won't calm down immediately or very quickly, remember that. 𝐴𝐷 is full of energy and constantly exploring. He's brave and willing to try new things, right? So when we reward him, or when he does well, we tell him, "You did really well, and recently your grades have improved too, so what should we do? Let's reward him, right? Every day, we'll give you 15 minutes of free time." Wow, that's great, 𝐴𝐷. What's most important is free time, so he can explore on his own or try out something new, right? Okay, so when he talks back, you can tell 𝐴𝐷, "You have the right to disagree. You can object. But let's see if we have any other ways to handle this or if we can find alternatives." Even better, try to find some new ways. Just opposing for the sake of opposing is old-fashioned. Are there any newer methods to do this better? Tell him to go and explore some new approaches, and he really enjoys that. You can't stop him from disagreeing, right? You have to let him object, but at the same time, encourage him to find a new way and then test out this new method together to see if it works. Then he'll stop talking back, and the focus will shift to finding new solutions, right? Okay, so what about when he stays silent? It's actually very simple. That's right, if you don't want to speak, you don't have to. Because, people really dislike being forbidden from doing things. Telling someone not to talk just doesn't work. Or if he stays silent and gets really angry and you ignore him, that doesn't work either. So what should you do? We just step away for a bit. Let's call it taking 30 steps. Then, after walking together for a while, you can talk to him again, see? Let's think about it again. Should we choose A or B? Or do we have any new methods? See, he starts thinking and begins to shift his focus to the area he likes most and is most familiar with, exploring. Right? The most important thing is that as soon as he gets the chance to explore his emotions, he opens up again. He also starts to come out of his silence and is willing to communicate with you. Isn't that important? All right then, let's take a look. Very rational, right? We say it's like a child, but also like an elderly person. This is 𝐹𝐹. It's quite interesting, isn't it? This aspect is also more logical and has stronger reasoning skills. Are there any friends of 𝐹𝐹 here? Yes, 𝐹𝐹's friends, so let's see what kind of space he needs. Give them some time because they're very down to earth. Give them time. Let them do things with a clear logic because their logical thinking is very strong. You understand? So we don't need to push them, question them, or talk about these things in public. There's no need for that yet. Yes, so let's just take it slow because they themselves are slow-paced. What they fear most is things moving too quickly, right? And when it comes to emotions, when things explode, we don't need to ask for the reason first. Remember that. When 𝐹𝐹 loses their temper, it's different from when other 𝐹𝐹 get angry. 𝐹𝐹 are usually very quick-tempered, but if 𝐹𝐹 gets angry, it's a big deal because 𝐹𝐹, by nature, has a lot of patience. Do you remember? But when he finally loses his temper, then it's really serious. So 𝐹𝐹 doesn't get angry easily, but once he does, it's a major issue, right? Haven't you experienced that? Usually he's very patient. That's why when we talk about 𝐹𝐹 losing his temper, I especially want to make sure he understands the word safety. You must make sure he feels safe. Don't let his temper cause him to do something that could harm his own body or affect the safety of those around him or his own safety. Okay? This is the most important thing to pay attention to. Whether 𝐹𝐹 might do something too extreme. Okay, so what you need to control here is safety. All right. When he does well, you should tell 𝐹𝐹, "You're very thorough, you know. You decide what to do next, and you really think things through. You really consider the people around you." Then he'll feel that, yes, because 𝐹𝐹 is very loving. He doesn't just think about himself, he thinks about everyone around him. Do you understand? That's great. So we need to praise him for this, so he understands that what he's doing is recognized by many people around him and that he cares for those around him. Okay, all right. When he talks back, you can tell him, you don't have to agree, but let's use some rules to discuss this. There's no need to argue. Let's take a look. Because he's logical, as long as you explain how the rule was formed and why such a rule exists, he'll start to accept it. Because, you see, Fafa is actually a reasonable person. He's logical, so he needs things to make sense, right? This reasoning isn't about lecturing him, but about analyzing it together with him. Is the reasoning sound or not? Alright, when he goes silent, what should you do? You don't have to respond right away. Wait a little while, then write it down or draw it out so we can look at it together and see how we can seriously solve the problem, okay? Fafa is very willing to do this. But remember, when he gets worked up in the moment, just make sure to pay attention to safety, and that's enough, alright? Alright then, let's move on. Momo. Are there any kids who are Momo? Or maybe you yourself are Momo? If so, type Momo on the screen. Momo is sensitive. What do we mean by sensitive? Momo is a creative child who is very sensitive to everything around them. They are especially able to let their emotions influence the people around them, making it easy for others to be affected by their feelings. Very special, right? So, what Momo needs most is gentle affirmation, like, you really did the right thing, or, that's really great. I truly understand you. As for their emotions, is there a place where they can, express or share them with others? Because what the child likes most, like Momo, what they love most is sharing with others. Momo is really great, but you don't need to directly criticize them or ignore them. That won't work. What we call giving them the cold shoulder or speaking to them in a harsh tone, that's not okay either, because they'll feel very hurt. You need to tell them, we understand. There's nothing wrong with your thoughts. We're all in this together, right? So remember to speak to them gently. There's no need to raise your voice when talking to Momo. As long as you're gentle, then they will. Momo will melt right away, and then he won't have any negative emotions. Isn't that quick and straightforward? Good, right? When he does well, let him know. I really like your creativity here. The way you did things is really good, and your expression is also very clear. You can help a lot of people around you. You're considerate of so many people around you. Momo really likes that because he is a child who really likes sharing with others. All right. So what do you do when he talks back? We can say, listen, I hear that you're trying to protect yourself. We understand, okay? We get the reason why you're talking back. But could you try expressing it in another way? When you say this to her, Momo will realize, oh, the way I just said it. So talking back might not be the best way, right? Then he'll try to use another way to express herself. Momo is really quick. Yes, because he's very smart and learns things fast. Remember that, Momo, okay? All right. So when he goes silent, you can tell him, that's fine. You don't have to say anything. Just let me know by nodding or shaking your head. And that's enough. I'll know what you need. Because when he goes quiet, he might feel misunderstood. But as long as he nods or shakes her head. If he shakes his head, then you can go, oh, I understand you. Once you understand him, once he feels understood, then you can start from there and everyone can have a new topic to talk about. Remember one thing, we need to know what kind of communication style each child has, and it has to be equal. I know what you're like and you let him know. It's not that I don't understand, I do know you. I know you want to express something and I know you're not happy right now. Then, what's the second step? We need to give the child an option, like A or B, and let them choose. After they've made their choice, what's the next step? Once we've refined things, and after it's done, we adjust it again. This is about using 3 sentences. How can we make it even more effective? When communicating with our children, yes, we need to understand their lead and then avoid their pain points. Okay, then use 1 sentence to lead them to the next step so they have a choice. This is very important. Also, we should approach things with less comparison and more love. Yes, when it comes to whether our children are good or bad, it really depends on communication and care. Okay, so today we finished talking about the 9 types of children and the iBommie personality traits in different scenarios. We also have a comprehensive profiling report specifically designed for kids. So absolutely everyone is invited to try out this innovative iMatrix report, which focuses deeply on analyzing children's unique personalities and traits. This professional analysis is incredibly thorough and highly detailed. allowing us to much more effectively build a strong foundation of mutual trust with our children, and ultimately help them grow up to be both healthy and happy individuals. At the same time, I also get to know the child's innate talents and potential and how to develop them, as well as how to effectively support them in their studies, learning, natural health, and physical abilities, so that in all aspects we can help them learn more happily and grow up joyfully. All right? All right then. So for us, remember, parents with children, you should try out the iMatrix Kid Analysis for your child as soon as possible. All right, so for us, hey, at the same time, we have a free app. Yes, it's a free app provided to everyone by iBlooming called Personal Energy Companions that will accompany you every day. It gives you a daily energy analysis, and every day it also provides some suggestions. Like, for example, based on your energy situation, it will tell you how you can boost your energy. Yes, that's possible. It will also suggest what kinds of vegetables or even flowers can help you, as well as provide music with frequencies that are beneficial for boosting your energy. So, each day, you can listen to music that is comfortable and perfectly suited to you, which can help you perform even better that day. Every day, we also offer some behavioral tips, emotional advice, and even suggestions related to your career. At the same time, we will also use the energy of all of you on that particular day to provide everyone with GIM, which means learning topics from professional instructors around the world. These topics are offered for everyone to learn, and they are also delivered through AI, artificial intelligence, to help everyone do even better. It's a recommendation tailored to your energy on that day, so make sure you don't miss it.